Often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome tonight to the Dre Broadcasting Network as we break land speed records for the final time tonight with the Precision Racing League season number 7. Season number 8, actually, before season 8. That is right, before season 9. And that's right, that means this is the championship race, Chase Race 4 of 4. And tonight we do get to crown a new champion of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series Season 8. Tonight is the ironic win, lose or blow 202.5. That's the ironic win, lose or blow 202.5. Part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. I'm a commentator, Sean Zulu. And joining me up in the booth is David Everly as usual. How are you doing, Dave?
Doing pretty good, Sean. How you doing?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Just pumped and ready to get the action rolling here tonight for the final race of season number 8 with a new upcoming champion. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a recap from the last race we had. That was last week. The fastest food in iRacing 195 by Ron's Trackside. In that race, we did have the 37, Dustin Hall did bring it home for his first win of the season, first and final win of the season, because tonight he won't be racing due to him having to go to the NASCAR race. So Dustin Hall came out first, Simtech Racing driver, Poe D. Johnson came out second, Road Trip Racing driver, James O'Brien third, Road Trip Racing driver, Craig Hawkins came out fourth, Tifosi Racing. We had Ken Caruthers come out 5th, Ironic Sim Racing driver, Dale Robertson 6th, Simtech Racing driver, Brandon Walter 7th, Road Trip Racing driver, Rory Collins, Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports, that was Rory Collins, John LaBath, Nofia Racing driver, Matthew Cisna, Nofia Racing driver, and Cisna did round up the top 10 last week. And ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our current point standings. If you remember correctly, last week there was only 7 points separating the top 2 drivers. That was James O'Brien and Poe D. Johnson. And now here in the points, James O'Brien is still leading in these points. He's representing Road Trip Racing once again. Poe D. Johnson, his teammate, his biggest opponent here tonight, is only 9 points behind him in second place tonight. They're going to give it their all. Dustin Hall is 3rd place in points, but is not racing. And himself, Dustin Hall, is only 5 points ahead of... Sorry, he's only 4 points ahead of 4th place driver John LaBath. John LaBath representing the Northfield Racing team. Dale Robertson is 5th place in points, Simtech Racing driver. And Dale Robertson is only 1 point behind John LaBath for 4th place. And Brandon Walter 6th place in points, the last driver in the points here in the chase, as we already dropped 6 drivers from the chase points after race number 2 at Watkins Glen. That was 2 races ago, if you remember correctly. And Brandon Walter is a Road Trip Racing driver. Well, ladies and gentlemen, going over our team championship standings, that is the team championship standings. Road Trip Racing is leading in points. That is Road Trip Racing leading in points. Simtech Racing is 2nd place in points. Ironic Sim Racing is 3rd place in points. Northfield Racing is 4th place in points. Tifosi Racing is 5th place in points. And the Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports, that's Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports, 6th place in the point standings. And ladies and gentlemen, we are trying to get the picture back up, but so it is going to be up before too long. And ladies and gentlemen, moving on to tonight's race here tonight. Oh, actually, the picture is back up. I do apologize, but it was down for the longest time. And ladies and gentlemen, hope you are ready for tonight's championship race. It is going to be a wild one. A lot more take than give. So hope you guys are up for the ride here tonight. Chicagoland Speedway, the ironic win, lose or blow 202.5, part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup. And tonight the drivers are dealing with a 106 degree Fahrenheit track temperature. The air temperature is 79 degrees Fahrenheit, clear skies, afternoon, winds from the southwest at 8 miles per hour, 8 to 10 miles per hour. And this track is 1.5 miles in length, and as usual the drivers do have full tanks, which means no fuel caps. And that's going to make things interesting. That still gives us an expected 2 required pit stops in order for them to be able to make it the full length of the way. But last week we had some drivers make it on just 1 pit stop. And that Dustin Hall was one of those drivers. And he did finish in the first place position for his first win and final win of the season. And ladies and gentlemen, please type it up in the chat. We see Austin Hawkins did type it up. Hope you're doing well there, Austin. Not racing tonight, but buddy, we look forward to seeing you back next season. And Austin Hawkins represents the Tifosi Racing team. Well, moving on to our current grid, Daniel Wilborn is back, the alien himself. One of the fastest drivers here is the pole sitter tonight. 14 of Paul D. Johnson 2nd, Dale Robertson 3rd, Kyle Souza 4th, Ken Caruthers 5th, Matthew Cisna 6th, David Dreckman 7th, Trevor White 8th, John LaBeouf 9th, and John LaBeouf is the last driver qualifying. So we have James O'Brien 10th, Stephen Mattox 11th, Stephen Aguiar 12th, Chris Perez 13th, Eric Roberts 14th, Jerome Berthome 15th, Brandon Walter 15th, Rory Collins 16th, we have also Ron McManus running up the rest of the field. That is Ron McManus rounding up the rest of the field, giving us 17 drivers starting tonight's race. And we are now rolling here behind this pace car being led by the alien himself, the 10 of Daniel Wilborn. And ladies and gentlemen, this being the final race of the season, the final race of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series Season number 8. And the winner, ladies and gentlemen, gets to take home the trophy. See right before you on the bottom right of your screen. That's right. That trophy is going to be in the hands of the new upcoming champion of the Season 8 PRL American iRacing Sunday Series. So a lot is on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Going around for 135 laps. Pace car dipping off here as we speak. Pace car is off. And Wilborn still holding pace speed. The green flag is out. That first green flag of the evening. This is lap number 1. The ironic win, lose, or blow 202.5. Chase race 4 of 4. Part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase of the Cup. The PRL. And up front, already top 3 drivers, single file, Dale Robertson 3rd place in line, Paul Johnson 2nd place in line, behind the leader 10 of Daniel Wilborn. In this mix, 00 of Kyle Souza as well is in it. But now on the exit of turn 4, Robertson goes to the inside of 14 of Johnson, side by side. Ladies and gentlemen, the first 5 to 7 laps on a new set of tires, on a new run. We're going to be seeing the hardest racing of that run. So as we speak, these drivers trying to take while they can, because those tires do go away very, very quickly. We have Johnson, Robertson still side by side entering turn 3. Robertson is going a little bit sideways. It's very loose on the inside, looks like it. But he was still able to clear Johnson successfully on the exit of turn 4. For the back in the pack, the 9 of James O'Brien making some headway on the inside of 99 of Brandon Walter on the exit of turn 2. He gets a run successfully, and that bumps Walter down to 7th place, and O'Brien himself up into the 6th place position. James O'Brien, the leader in points, only 9 points ahead of his teammate with the Road Trip Racing Team 14 of Paul D. Johnson. And right there too, Brandon Walter as well is a Road Trip Racing driver. He just got passed by his own teammate, James O'Brien, and Walter himself is actually 6th place in the point standings. And last week, during the interviews, during the post-race interviews, we got a chance to speak with the 2 rivalries tonight. The two teammates who are going against it for the championship. First and second place in points, James O'Brien and 14 of Paul D. Johnson. They talked about how they are teammates, but they will still race each other hard. They'll basically still have to let each other earn it. When it came to the case of Johnson, he talked about how his game plan of being ready for tonight's race. And also, James O'Brien made a joke about, trying to mess the setup of Johnson up to better his chances. But here so far, James O'Brien is being shown 3.2 seconds behind the leader up front, Daniel Wilborn. And unfortunately, we've lost the driver early on. It's a 3. Actually, yeah, that's a 3 of Danny Duchesne. No, that's the 27 of Duchesne. For the back in the pack, the 9-11 of John LaBeouf getting around the 21 of Trevor White. He does it successfully, and that bumps Trevor White into 9th place and John LaBeouf into 8th. And ladies and gentlemen, with this being the final race of the season, that means the signups are opening. Signups have been open, actually. So if you guys would like to be a part of the action with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, check out their website at precisionracingleague.com. But there is a little bit of a curveball. You have to race your way in. That's right. They only take the best of the best and cap their fields at 36 drivers. So 36 drivers maximum. You have to race your way in. And the race your way in races will be held on March 18th, which is next Sunday. That's March 18th. At Auto Club Speedway, and also March 25th at Phoenix International Raceway. So that's going to be March 18th at Auto Club and March 25th at Phoenix International Raceway with the dogleg. And all races will be held, so both races are on Sundays at 6 p.m. EST. That's Eastern Standard Time. So please check them out, precisionracingleague.com. And also the next season, season number 9 of the PRL American iRacing Sunday Series is going to start on April 8th. Next month on the 8th, that's April 8th, with the first race being held at Texas Motor Speedway. Well, a lot of single file going on here as we speak. We have Steven Mattox, Kyle Souza here, single file, and Souza has sustained some front-end damage and some right rear damage on that Ford Mustang, but he's still doing some damage regardless with his heavy foot, and behind him is being approached by a very fast Machine 22 of Cessna. Oh man, the 6 of Mattox gets sucked into the wall off the exit of turn number 4. Oh man, as a result, he lost all speed, all momentum, and one spot to the 00 of Kyle Souza. And keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the drivers have been running open setups all season long and not having any backup cars whatsoever. So when drivers have damage like that, when they make contact with each other or make contact with any of those walls, they most likely will be on pit road for quite a while. And that damage does really affect a lot the top end, including the rotation of the machines. And for the back in the pack, 33 of David Dreckman. David Dreckman currently in the 11th place spot, about 2 seconds behind his next victim, the 6 of Steven Mattox. I just now noticed this, but we have somebody racing who has not raced in a very, very long time. It's the 17 of Jerome Berthome. Jerome Berthome currently in the 12th place spot. And Jerome Berthome is a road alien, but he has raced in the this Oval Series in the past, but decided to stay up in the booth and keep the drivers in check. And he is the league owner. This is the PRL American iRacing Sunday Series. And so far, Jerome is currently in the 12th place spot ahead of Rory Collins and behind David Dreckman. We have a battle going on here. It's going to be between Kyle Souza and the 21 of Trevor White. Kyle Souza is applying some serious pressure to Trevor White. And here so far with 14 laps in, the inside line seems to be the preferred race groove for most of these drivers. Souza to the inside of Trevor White, side by side off turn 2. Trevor White stays high. Souza goes to the inside. Slingshot engaged by Trevor White with the outside lane advantage. But then Souza goes down to the apron, the shortest way around the racing surface, in a drag race to turn 1. It was a drag race, but Trevor White leads a very big nose against him, and off turn 2 is going to get him successfully. Yes, he does, with the help of the slingshot. And the 6 of Steven Mattox, who smacked the wall about 5 laps ago off the exit of turn 4, is now back in this mix behind the 0 of Souza. He is creeping on him, slowly but surely. David Drachman has found 5th gear here with the 16 laps in. He's now going against the 6 of Mattox, side by side. Off the exit of turn 2, Mattox does let off the gas. Looks like he was getting a little bit loose. That allows Drachman to get around him successfully, entering turn 3. Actually, crossover engaged by Steven Mattox, side by side again, off turn 4. Does the in and out or the over and under, and now they are still side by side entering turn number 1. Drachman goes way too wide enough for him to lose some time against Mattox. Actually, the higher you go, the longer the slingshot, and slingshot was engaged by Drachman, and he puts a very big lead against the 6 of Mattox. And so far, Drachman is now approaching 21 of Trevor White in his Camry. And I've been monitoring the 21 of Trevor White, and seems like White has been trying to use up different lanes, trying to figure out trying to find lanes that work. Excuse me. He's been trying to find lanes that work. He's been going to the middle lane, the bottom lane, but so far not really using the outside lane. And seems like nobody has been giving the outside lane a chance just yet. Going back up front, Daniel Wilborn, the 10, has now increased his lead to 3.1 seconds against second place driver Dale Robertson. And going back to the 33 of David Drachman. David Drachman going at it. Oh, they almost make contact with Trevor White, between Trevor White and David Drachman. But no harm done. Trevor White goes all the way high to avoid trouble. And as a result, he lost all his momentum, all his speed against David Drachman. And now Steven Mattox. And with 21 laps complete, the top 10 updated. We have Daniel Wilborn, Dale Robertson, Paul D. Johnson, Ken Caruthers, James O'Brien, Brandon Walter, John LaBeouf, Kyle Souza, David Drachman, Steven Mattox, that is 1st through 10th, respectively. And looking at the two biggest rivalries tonight, James O'Brien and Paul D. Johnson, they are separated by about 3 seconds, and also one machine in between them. That is Ken Caruthers. So Paul D. Johnson right now is riding in the 3rd place spot, and James O'Brien moved up all the way to 5th place from 10th place, gaining 5 spots this far, 23 laps in, and now is trying to creep up 77 of Ken Caruthers, and they are now about 1.6 seconds apart. Speaking of Ken Caruthers looks like actually Ken Caruthers has retired for the evening, unfortunately. And we have one driver on pit road. It's the 41 of Chris Perez. And that is not a scheduled pit stop, and looks like he has some right front damage on that Ford Mustang, unfortunately. And going back to the points standings, ladies and gentlemen, before the green flag had dropped tonight, so Brandon Walter and Dale Robertson were only 2 points apart for the 5th place spot. Robertson being in 5th place and Brandon Walter being in 6th. So there's a position to gain right there. They might not all be racing for the championship, but they are still racing to better their standings to end the season nice and strong. And also John LaBeouf for 4th place was only 1 point ahead of Dale Robertson. So here the 3 drivers, John LaBeouf, Dale Robertson, and Brandon Walter, going at it tonight for those points for the 4th place spot, to be exact. And speaking of John LaBeouf's machine has started to get loose on the exit of turn number 2. Looks like he has started to really ease into the gas to avoid upsetting the rear end. That is never a good thing when that happens. And now LaBeouf is coming up to the 99 of, actually, he's trying to catch the 99 of Brandon Walter, who is less than a second in front of him. And John LaBeouf, in turn, is being approached by a fast driver, 00 of Kyle Souza. And Souza tonight did start in the 4th place spot, but then dropped back due to that damage he sustained. But now going against 911 John LaBeouf side by side on the outside. And he makes that pass successfully on the outside. Not an easy task to do. But now that bumps LaBeouf down to 7th place and Souza up to 6th. A lot of drivers this far are now starting to feel the effects of those worn out tires with 30 laps in. A lot of them getting very loose, entering turn number 1 and also exiting turn number 2. So everyone seems to have been backing up their entries to these turns, and Kyle Souza as well seems to be getting a little bit squirrely through these turns. And one driver peeling off, going down to pit road. It is 22 of Cessna. And the Penzo Toyota Camry there by Cessna is now on pit road. Here it's actually being shown 5 laps down, unfortunately, due to missing due to having a bad start. Also have John LaBeouf, Trevor White on pit road as we speak, with 31 laps on their tires and tanks. Yeah, seems like tonight's race as well is going to be a race of saving tires due to the long green flag run that we've had. A lot more this green flag run is going to go on for a very long time. Actually, the caution just flew. Should not have said that, but the caution flies this time around on lap 32.
Well, Sean, that looks like it's going to be the 0-0 of Kyle Souza here. As we pull up the Dre Broadcasting Instant Replay, we're going to go back and take a look here. As we focus, oh, he just lost it coming out of the turn. Luckily, was able to keep it off of the 99 of Brandon Walter, but he gets up into that outside wall, enough to bring out our first caution of the night.
Oh man, very, very unfortunate. I just talked about how he was getting very squirrely about 5 laps ago. And it looks like there he just caught him off guard, and I was trying to make a pass against Brandon Walter on the inside, and he could not save it. But that was still a great great save actually on his part. That could have definitely been worse. And great save too by 99 of Walter to avoid spitting out. Well, going back up front, we are being led by Daniel Wilborn, Dale Robertson second, Paul D. Johnson third, James O'Brien fourth, and Brandon Walter in the 5th place spot. And some drivers, 3 drivers already pitted in 2 laps ago. John LaBeouf, Trevor White, and Matthew Cisna. But the rest of the field is going to go down pit road this time around. Yep, Daniel Wilborn leading everybody down pit road, and they do follow. So 4 tires, full tanks of gas is the way to go with these runs, because with about 10 to 12 laps in, the drivers definitely do start feeling the effects of the tires. And we had John LaBeouf, Trevor White, and Cisna stay out to get 1 lap back behind the pace car. And ladies and gentlemen, the ironic win, lose, or blow 202.5 chase race 4 of 4. The race of the championship, part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. Tonight is going to be the final race of season number 8 before season 9 begins. And yes, we are going to crown a new champion by the end of tonight's race. And the new champion is going to receive the amazing trophy on the bottom right of your screen, courtesy of John LaBeouf. And Daniel Wilborn was able to maintain his lead off pit road. Paul D. Johnson second, Dale Robertson third, James O'Brien fourth, Brandon Walter fifth, David Dreckman sixth, Jerome Berthome seventh, Rory Collins eighth, John LaBeouf ninth, and Stephen Mattox in the 10th place spot. And a status check on Kyle Souza. Kyle Souza is still on the racing surface, and his damage seems to have gotten worse, but he is still rolling in the 11th place spot. And also we had John LaBeouf actually get the waiver on the pace car. He got the lucky dog once the caution had flown. So only 2 drivers now being shown 1 or more laps down. Trevor White and Cisna, who are still behind the pace car as we speak. And we are 1-2 green. The Toyota Camry by Cessna, the Pennzoil machine, gets around the pace car. Same with 21 of Trevor White. They both get 1 lap back. So Trevor White is now back on the lead lap, and Cessna is now back to 4 laps down from 5. Going back to the pace car here. Behind the pace car, we have Daniel Wilborn still leading with the help of Dale Robertson behind him. On the outside line, Paul D. Johnson with the help of the 9 of James O'Brien, his teammate and his biggest enemy tonight. Well, exiting turn 4, going green for the second time this time around. The pace car dips off and Wilborn finds the gas, but immediately the green flag is now out, and a battle for second place already between 14 of Johnson and the 3 of Robertson, who are side by side. Well, scratch that back down single file, and Johnson goes from second place to third place before turn number 1. Robertson in between Wilborn and Johnson in second place. This might not be a good thing. Paul D. Johnson and James O'Brien have found each other. They are nose to tail. They are using the exact same setups. They are teammates. And last week they worked very well together. But tonight that goes out the window. They have to work against each other in order for them to be able to benefit themselves, or at least try to, because there is a championship on the line. And 99 of Brandon Walter, an alien from last week's race, from last week's track. Here behind the 9 of James O'Brien. He's a road trip racing driver. So 3 road trip racing drivers in a row. 3rd, 4th, and 5th place drivers, Johnson, O'Brien, and Walter. And also Walter, once again, is 6th place in the point standings. So here in the point standings, going for the championship, we have 3 road trip racing drivers once again: James O'Brien, Paul D. Johnson, and Brandon Walter. And also in SimTech racing drivers, we have 2 of them here going for the championship: Dale Robertson and Dustin Hall. And the other driver who's not of those 2 teams is John LaBeouf with a No Fear Racing team. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 41 laps in and 95 laps remaining in tonight's race, we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ironic win, lose, or blow 202.5 Chase Race 4 of 4 Championship Race, part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup with the Precision Racing League. That's Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. And ladies and gentlemen, sign-ups have been open for the PRL American iRacing Sunday Series for next season, season number 9, because tonight we end season number 8. So for those of you that are interested in being a part of the action, that's interested in being a part of the action, check them out at precisionracingleague.com. That's precisionracingleague.com. You have to race your way in, because they only take the best of the best drivers and cap their fields at 36 drivers maximum. And ladies and gentlemen, since you have to race your way in, they will have race your way in races hosted on first race being held on March 18th. March 18th, that's next week Sunday. So March 18th at Auto Club Speedway, and the next race after that is going to be on March 25th at Phoenix. That's Phoenix International Raceway. So Phoenix on the 25th. And Auto Club on the 18th. So next week and the week after that, the next 2 weeks, and all races the rooms will go up at 6 p.m. EST with 4-hour-long sessions. Well, ladies and gentlemen, going back to tonight's race, we are still being led by Daniel Wilborn, Dale Robertson 2nd, Paul D. Johnson 3rd, James O'Brien 4th, Brandon Walter 5th, David Dreckman 6th, John LaBeouf 7th, Steven Mattox 8th, Kyle Souza 9th, and Trevor White in the 10th place position. And a reminder for the already existing viewers who have been here tonight, and for also those who just now might be tuning in, there is a lot on the line tonight. We do get to crown a new champion by the end of tonight's race. And the champion is going to receive the trophy. See right before you on the bottom right of your screen. So the bottom right of your screen, there's a trophy right there, courtesy of John LaBeouf. So that's going to belong to the new upcoming champion. So that's very exciting. But the caution flies this time around on lap 5-3. Gonna see what happened.
Oh man, I think that's gonna involve the 21 of Trevor White here as we go to the Dre Broadcasting replay. Take a look, see if we can see exactly what happened to Trevor White here. We're gonna rewind this a little bit. Oh, let's go back a little further here. I think, yep, he got on the apron. Apron is not your friend through the tri-oval. He gets down into the grass, loses it, back up onto the track, and unfortunately, that's gonna collect the 17 of Jerome Berthome in that as well.
Oh man, yeah, very unfortunate indeed. Yeah, Trevor White, man, that apron in the tri-oval, he had his left wheels on the apron and his right wheels on the racing surface. Bad combination, the banking just got the machine upset, and he lost control of it, and also very unfortunate for 17 of Jerome Berthome. And this is most likely going to end Trevor White's night, because the machine was smoking heavily after the incident. Well, due to the incident, he's actually smoking heavily as he crawls down to pit road, and no backup cars once again. So hopefully his he's able to put down some more laps before the race ends tonight, because the race is still young. We still have 82 laps left, and a status check on Jerome Berthome. Jerome is still rolling on the racing surface, catching up to the back of the pack, but here we are being led down to pit road by the leader 10 of Daniel Wilborn. Yep, everybody goes down pit road because they have over 20 laps on their tires and tanks this time around. But Cisna is staying out because it is 4 laps down and pit road does not open for him for another lap. And ladies and gentlemen, this gives us time to get a race interview in. So let's focus on one of the drivers, the 35 of Rory Collins. Well, ladies and gentlemen, joining us up in the Dre Broadcasting booth is the Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports driver, Rory Collins. Look up there, Rory.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. It's always good on race day.
Oh, I hear you, man. You know, a long time no see, but every single time we see you, how you always bring your A-plus game. But how's the race going so far tonight, man?
Oh, right now we're just riding around trying to save tires.
Oh, man, yeah, that's a very, very smart strategy. Because, yeah, we've noticed with about after 10 to 15 laps on tires, a lot of drivers out there seem to be getting very, very loose. And how's the machine handling from your point of view?
It's really not bad on the long run. The short run, they kind of walk away from me, but I start getting them back there in the long run. So that's good if we keep green here.
Oh, absolutely, man, and I'm glad that you're able to, you know, you've said yourself you are a long-run driver. That's exactly what it takes to be successful, especially at a track like this and with the long green flag runs we've been having this far. And Rory, man, I know this has been your first season here, season number 8 with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. How's been the journey so far?
Oh, I love it. It's fun. It's been a lot of fun.
And should we expect to see you back again for season 9?
Yep. And be back there next season.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, Rory, you are currently 9th place after starting in the 15th place spot. We look forward to seeing you 8 spots higher. Make us proud, buddy. Make us proud.
Thank you, and thanks for the great job you guys do.
And that was 35 of Rory Collins with the Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports team, currently in the 9th place spot. But here, going back up front, we are coming to 1 to green with a new leader, Dale Robertson. 2nd place driver, Paul D. Johnson. We have Daniel Wilborn 3rd, James O'Brien 4th, Brandon Walter 5th, David Dreckman 6th. We have Stephen Mattox 7th, John LaBath 8th, Rory Collins 9th, and Kyle Souza in the 10th place position. And we are now back 1 to green. Yes, we are being led by Robertson with the help of Daniel Wilborn on the outside line. 14 of Paul D. Johnson with the help of his teammate, the 9 of James O'Brien on the outside. Everybody getting bunched up nice and strong here this time around as we speak. 99 of Walter is scrubbing those wheels, trying to generate some heat into those tires. Doesn't seem like he's scrubbing actually, but here is playing with that throttle, just trying to amp himself up for this upcoming green flag run. Exiting turn 4, going green, the pace car dips, and Robertson finds the gas, but immediately Wilborn sees it coming in time to get a run. 14 of Johnson, well, they are drag racing as we speak. Before turn number 1, we are green flag racing. 9 of James O'Brien goes to the inside, behind 10 of Wilborn against his teammate 14 of Johnson, but now Wilborn is having some difficulty in the inside line, also on the exit of turn number 2, but still side by side with with the 14 of Johnson as we speak. Entering turn 3, was able to get around the 14 of Paul D. Johnson and take back the second place spot. And now a status check on Johnson. He is maintaining the third place spot for now against his teammate, James O'Brien. And for the back in this pack, we have the 911 of John LaBath on the move, trying to make some moves, trying to take while he can on these new sets of tires. Behind the 6 of Steven Mattox so far, and his biggest opponents here tonight, Dale Robertson and Walter. So John LaBath is currently in 8th place. Dale Robertson is currently the leader, and Brandon Walter is currently in 5th place spot. So far, John LaBath's, both of his biggest opponents and his biggest missions tonight are both ahead of him. But we are still, still have a long way to go. We are less than halfway to go still. We have 76 laps left with 60 laps complete. Speaking of John LaBath is actually catching the draft of 6 of Steven Mattox and was able to pull him in a lot during that one lap. And now off the exit of turn 2, he gets a better exit than 6 of Mattox, and the gap is slowly decreasing. But 00 of Kyle Souza sees an opportunity so far, and he's also catching up to John LaBath. So John LaBath at this point knows that if he makes a mistake or trying to go around the 6 of Mattox, he's gonna lose a spot to Kyle Souza. And with how close Mattox is to John LaBath, or in this case, John LaBath is to 6 of Steven Mattox. Mattox most likely feeling the pressure. And at this point, well, in this case, one man's mistake is going to be another man's benefit. So far, both drivers taking it easy, and Mattox trying his best to avoid riding in his rearview. And ahead of 6 of Steven Mattox, and because of the single foul between LaBath and Mattox, they do seem to be catching up to their next opponent, or victim in this case, 33 of David Dreckman. But going back up front, the top 4 drivers have a race of their own going on. Dale Robertson, Daniel Wilborn, Paul D. Johnson, and James O'Brien, all in a cluster of their own. And Johnson all over Daniel Wilborn like fudge cake on Sunday. Man, oh man, Johnson is really pushing the issue. He's making his presence known for sure in the rear view of Wilborn. Oh, he almost taps Wilborn there, entering turn number 1. He's going to get a run against him off the exit of turn 2. Oh, looks like Johnson is trying to set up Daniel Wilborn. He's trying to apply some serious pressure to make it more likely for Wilborn to make a mistake, but so far Wilborn is not falling for it. With the close racing going on, you would have thought this was Daytona or Talladega. And Johnson here so far is still going at it, giving it all he has. But off the exit of turn 2, Johnson got a little bit loose and backed off to avoid getting himself in trouble. And that allows James O'Brien to sneak up on him. Oh, James O'Brien here going to the inside of Johnson, and Johnson got sideways off the exit of turn 2, lost enough speed and momentum to lose time against his opponent, who was actually able to get around him entering turn 3. That is James O'Brien. So now James O'Brien 3rd and Paul D. Johnson 4th. So much is on the line between the two drivers. They are teammates, they do respect each other, but their friendship was broken by tonight's race, starting tonight's race here at Chicagoland Speedway for the ironic win-loser blow 202.5. So now it's every man for himself between the two of them, and now James trying to catch up to the 10 of Wilborn, and the 10 of Wilborn in turn is actually riding the rear of Dale Robertson. And for the back in the pack, the 911 of John LaBeouf still behind the 6 of Steven Mattox. They did decide to just stay together and work together at the exact same time. And they are still about, looks like less than 5/10 of a second behind 33 of David Dreckman. And going for the back in the pack, we have 35 of Rory Collins. Rory Collins talked about during the interview how he was just riding, taking it easy, and running all these drivers down, all his opponents down, all his victims down in the long run. And that's exactly what he's doing here as we speak, with 70 laps in. Is being shown about 3.8 seconds behind his next victim, the 00 of Kyle Souza, for 9th place. And so far we are only showing 10 drivers on the lead lap, with Rory Collins first driver 1 lap down, Jerome Berthome is 4 laps down in 11th place spot. And Jerome Berthome had some bad luck, if you remember correctly, during the last caution between himself and the spinning, that was spinning 21 of Trevor White. And it's not on this, but we've lost one more driver tonight, 22 of Matthew Cisna. I look forward to seeing all these drivers back again next season. And these drivers so far have had an 18 to 19 lap run on their tires and tanks this far. And that's why we see the field spreading out, because a lot of them are now feeling the effects of the tires going away. And they've decided to just back it down, better safe than sorry. And now the top two, the third and fourth place drivers, James O'Brien and Johnson, who were less than a second within the draft of Wilborn and Robertson, are now 2.4 seconds behind the two leaders up front. So they have lost a lot of time since then. Yep, they've lost a lot of time and continue to lose a lot of time with every single lap. James O'Brien 2.8 seconds behind the leader. Paul D. Johnson 3.3 seconds behind the leader. To the back in the pack, we have Kyle Souza, Steven Mattox, David Dreckman, and Brandon Walter. We saw two of these drivers having some difficulty off the exit of turn 2. Brandon Walter and David Dreckman exiting turn 2. They are getting sideways a little bit, while Steven Mattox is having his biggest problem entering turn 1. And the good thing about the drivers having open setups, they have the opportunity to tune the machines, basically adjust the machines when they go down pit road for green flag pit stops, or maybe under caution, so they can be able to better the handling of the machines in the long run. And 00 of Kyle Souza, 6 of Steven Mattox, getting ever closer to David Dreckman as we speak off the exit of turn 4. They go to the inside of Dreckman. Steven Mattox does, but Kyle Souza does stay behind both drivers. So far, gonna go with the line that seems faster. He's gonna stick with the inside behind the 6 of Mattox. But Mattox was not able to make a move against the 32 of David Dreckman, so he just decided to back it down, fall back in line. Because if he kept doing that, he most likely would have lost the spot to Kyle Souza, and David Dreckman goes sideways off the exit of turn number 2. No harm done. His heavy foot was able to stabilize the machine off the exit, but that allowed 6 of Mattox to close in. And Kyle Souza already made a pass on the outside there early on during the first green flag run. He was trying it again against Mattox, but had no luck, and he's watching the battle from shotgun view between Dreckman and Mattox. Oh man, Souza gets very, very sideways there entering turn 1. Sideways enough to lose all his speed, momentum, and time against Dreckman, Mattox, and the leaders. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 80 laps complete, that is 80 laps complete and 56 laps left. Gonna take another commercial break this time around. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ironic win, lose, or blow 202.5 Chase Race 4 of 4 Championship Race, part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. And ladies and gentlemen, for the new viewers out there interested in being a part of the action, because signups are open with the PRL for next season, check them out at precisionracingleague.com. But there is a kicker. You have to race your way in. That's right, race your way in. They only take the best of the best. And the Race Your Way In races are going to be held next week, Sunday, March 18th, and also March 25th. So the next 2 Sundays. The first race next week is going to be held at Auto Club Speedway, and then the next Race Your Way In race is going to be held at Phoenix International Raceway. That's going to be March 25th. So March 25th, March 18th. Put that down on your calendar if you guys think you have what it takes to challenge one of the guys or to be a part of the action next season, because a lot of things are coming next season, a lot of changes to better the experience for the drivers out there. So that's precisionracingleague.com. Well, going back to the race, we have Dale Robertson still leading, Daniel Wilborn second, James O'Brien third, Paul D. Johnson fourth, Kyle Souza fifth, David Dreckman sixth. We have Kyle's... Oh, actually, this is changing. I'm going to start over again. Dale Robertson is still leading, Daniel Wilborn second, James O'Brien third, Paul D. Johnson fourth, David Dreckman fifth, Brandon Walter sixth. We have Kyle Souza 7th, Stephen Mattox 9th, Rory Collins 8th, John LaBeouf 10th. That just changed right there as well, but we have lost one driver. John LaBeouf unfortunately has called it a night here early on, and also Stephen Mattox just now retired. So now we have 7 drivers here left on the lead lap, and a few of them a lap or more down. And pit road is getting busier by the lap. Kyle Souza pitted in about a lap ago. We have, seems like, okay, looks like here, the drivers, if they pit in now, they'll be able to make it the rest of the way, because 96 laps complete and 40 laps remaining in tonight's race. And also one more thing I might have forgotten to mention, the first race of next season, basically next season, season number 9 with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series begins on April 8th. That's the 8th of April next month, with the first race being held at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, most definitely, Sean. Also, guys, they will be able to catch at me and Sean will be joining forces with Joe White and the online sim racing network. So next season you can catch the races live on the OSR network with me and Sean calling the races. Joe White will be coming in probably about mid-season, so We're going to be joining forces with the Online Sim Racing Network next season.
Absolutely, yep. Online Sim Racing Network, ladies and gentlemen, check them out on YouTube. Check him out. That is Joe White himself. And as we were speaking, James O'Brien, Paul D. Johnson, Brandon Walter, Rory Collins, all on pit road for their final pit stops of the evening. The leaders up front, backing those suckers down, going down pit road. Dale Robertson with 10 of Wilborn on his tail. And David Dreckman as well is backing it down, going down pit road as we speak. Looks like that's everybody on pit road. That means the first and final green flag pit stops have been complete. So everybody, 4 tires, full tanks of gas, and looking at the pit times, the driver that had the fastest pit stop was the 14 of Paul D. Johnson with the 14-second flat pit stop. That's 14 seconds flat spent on pit road. And following up right next to him was 35 of Rory Collins. 35 of Rory Collins having a 14.6. Second pit stop next was David Dreckman, 14.8 seconds. Then after that we had James O'Brien, 15.2 seconds. Then from there we had 15.9 seconds Daniel Wilborn, 16.2 seconds Dale Robertson, and lastly 00 of Kyle Souza, 16.4 seconds. We always talk about it, the green flag pit stops do separate the men from the boys. That means the field gets even more spread out than before. So we're going to see exactly how things play out once the leaders cross the start-finish line this time around. Alright, so far looks like Dale Robertson was able to maintain the race lead and actually gained 3/10 of a second against his biggest opponent, then of Daniel Wilborn. And then in turn, in third place and fourth place, Paul D. Johnson and James O'Brien respectively are next to each other, 15.5 seconds behind the leader.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll tell you what though, Daniel Wilborn's led 54 laps here tonight. Dale Robertson has led 47. So it looks like pretty much Daniel Wilborn led the first half of the race. Ever since Dale Robertson was able to get the lead on that caution off pit road, he has held on to it, leading 47 laps so far here tonight.
Most definitely, man. Congrats to these drivers here for leading some laps tonight. And man, Robertson, we always talk about it. We don't say it enough, but Robertson, man, he's come a very long way. When we first started broadcasting here with the Precision Racing, the American iRacing Sunday Series, Dale Robertson was a mid to rear pack runner, but now he's a front runner. That is front runner, not mid pack to front. Just front runner. So it's come a long way, man. It's been amazing to see. Looks like the new upcoming champion has someone to look forward to next season to be on his tail, Robertson. And Austin Hawkins is back in the chat. Welcome back, Austin. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. And Austin, we hope you're ready for next season, man. And after the first round of green flag pit stops, 7 drivers left on the lead lap. Rory Collins, first driver, 1 lap down. So we did lose some drivers. I talked about that early on. We lost Stephen Mattox. We lost Trevor White, Matthew Cisna, Ken Caruthers as well. Unfortunately, including John LaBeouf. But we look forward to seeing all these drivers back again next season, season number 9. First place and second place drivers now less than a tenth of a second, actually less than 2/10 of a second within each other's range. They are getting very close to each other. Oh, in this case, Wilborn is getting very close to Dale Robertson. Last time they were 5/10 of a second apart, but that has gone down since. And Wilborn is now starting to apply pressure. Seemed like there in the beginning too, during the last green flag run before the green flag pit stops. We had Wilborn all over Robertson for a very long time, but in the long run, seemed like Robertson was able to win the fight of the long run. So here, the drivers might be close, but we're gonna see maybe Wilborn might have changed up his strategy to try and outsmart Robertson in the long run. So we're gonna see how things play out.
Yeah, but also, I mean, we got a little bit of a battle going here with Paul D. Johnson and James O'Brien. Fortunately, the way they're running with James O'Brien having a 9-point lead, I do believe he is going to pretty much, as long as if it finished right now, he is going to be our season champion.
Oh, indeed, man, he would love that. But man, the laps are winding down. 28 laps left in tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen. 28 laps remaining. We are coming to the closing stages of tonight's race. We are coming very close to crowning a new champion of the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series, and they'll be receiving that trophy on the bottom right of your screen. That's right, the trophy courtesy of John LaBeouf, a physical trophy. That's right, physical trophy. So the drivers have a lot of motivation, more than enough motivation to get the job done. But off turn 2 there, Robertson got a bad exit off it, and Wilborn gets very close to him, but decides to just back it down and ride. And looking there in the chat, Austin is ready for next season. Next season he got a new team and new teammates. Okay, that's amazing, man. Hope you get along with them next season, man. It's been amazing watching you race and grow with the drivers. And Jerome Berthom as well is in the chat after racing. He raced tonight after not racing for a year in the on the oval side of things. And Jerome, was a heck of a show on your part, man. And further back in the pack, third and fourth place drivers, James O'Brien and Paul D. Johnson. They are, once again, they are still together now, side by side as we speak. They were single file, but side by side, James O'Brien to the inside of Paul D. Johnson. It's a drag race before turn 1. Oh, James gets around him and chops his nose off, but a crossover engaged. The in and out, the over and under off turn 2 again, side by side throughout the backstretch. Oh man, James O'Brien seems to have the preferred race groove of the exit of turn 4. Yes, he does. Slingshot engaged with the outside lane advantage. And Paul D. Johnson here in the 4th place spot, bumped down to 4th place here. He's going to try and make it work, actually work extra harder. Well, in this case, he's going to make his machine work overtime to get that to reverse what just happened. In the 5th place spot, we have Kyle Souza. Kyle Souza, who is about 2.4 seconds ahead of the 99 of Brandon Walter for the 5th place position. At the same time, Kyle Souza's next victims for positions are that's going to be Paul Johnson in this case, and he's about 6 seconds away from Paul D. Johnson. So he does have a lot of work to do to accomplish that. And we have been bumped down to only 6 drivers left on the lead lap. Brandon Walter, the last driver on the lead lap. David Dreckman, first driver, 1 lap down. Racing for the Lucky Dog with or against 35 of Rory Collins. Going back up front, Daniel Wilborn is still riding behind the 3 of Dale Robertson. So far, seems like Daniel Wilborn is trying to maybe work with Robertson to try and pull away from the rest of the field. Or maybe he's trying... Oh man, sideways action by Robertson off the exit of turn number 1. No harm done, he saves it. And looks like Wilborn had some difficulty off the exit of turn 2, so the gap stays consistent between them. But then the different scenario I was going to talk about was maybe at this point Daniel Wilborn is trying to maybe make a buddy system with Robertson and break that later on. Sometimes you might have so much confidence in the driver behind you that they'll maybe ride or, you know, just take it easy on you. But then they will end up pouncing on you when you least expect it. So far here, Robertson is still on his toes, not taking any chances. And ladies and gentlemen, last season, the team that brought the team championship home was the Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports. That was Jeffrey Ford. Yeah, that had Jeffrey Ford, Stephen Mattox, Zachary York, and Colton Lane. That was Jeffrey Ford, Stephen Mattox, Zachary York, and Colton Lane with the Ford Lane Motorsports for season number 7. And this season, I see what team brings it home. And I'm going to go over the current team championship standings as they are. So here we do have... Once again, we have Road Trip Racing still leading in points. That's Road Trip Racing leading in points. Simtech Racing in 2nd place right behind them. Ironic Sim Racing 3rd place. Nofia Racing 4th place. Tifosi Racing 5th. And Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports. That's going to be Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports 6th. So I'm going to start over. Road Trip Racing, Simtech Racing, Ironic Sim Racing, Nofia Racing, Tifosi Racing, and Ford Entertainment Group Motorsports 1st through 6th respectively. So we're gonna see what team brings this team championship standings home for the season number 8. So far it's looking very good for the Road Trip Racing team because they are they are leading in points. Actually, they are about 92 points ahead of Simtech Racing. So it's looking very good for Road Trip Racing, but we're gonna find out by the end of tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, 15 laps left in tonight's race, less than 20 laps remaining. It has been go time for a very long time now. And the gap between James O'Brien and Paul D. Johnson is doing the rubber band effect. It keeps going up and down and staying consistent every now and then. As we speak, they are 0.2 of a second within each other's range, or draft in this case. Both Road Trip Racing drivers, they are teammates, but that has been broken tonight. It's going to come up to strategy. So before too long, they will start battling. And ladies and gentlemen, we are now down to 5 drivers on the lead lap. 00 of Kyle Souza is the last driver on the lead lap. Brandon Walter 1 lap down. David Dreckman 1 lap down. Rory Collins 1 lap down. All 3 drivers racing against each other for the 6th place position and the lucky dog. Oh man, we almost had some trouble on the track. James O'Brien went sideways off turn 2. Sideways enough to lose momentum and speed. Enough that Paul Johnson sees a free lunch program. Paul Johnson goes to the inside of James O'Brien throughout the front stretch here in the tri-oval. Before turn 1, still drag racing. Going at it side by side. Paul Johnson slingshot here. A good exit off turn number 2. And gets around James O'Brien. Bumping James O'Brien down to 4th place and himself up to 3rd. Going back up front, Dale Robertson, 10 of Daniel Wilborn. Looks like Dale Robertson up front is doing the defensive line to try and keep Daniel Wilborn behind him, or try and make it extra difficult for Wilborn to occupy his inside to make a pass against him. And looks like Wilborn is now going all the way high, trying to make the outside lane work. He went high enough to get a good slingshot, and that got him close enough, or got him back close on the back bumper and the rear view of Robertson before turn 3. And the two leaders, Wilborn and Robertson, getting around the last driver on the lead lap, Kyle Souza. So Kyle Souza is now 1 lap down, and that leaves us with only 4 drivers on the lead lap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, an interesting fact. The top 2 drivers, Dale Robertson and Daniel Wilborn, are only 6 seconds away from lapping the 3rd and 4th place drivers, Paul D. Johnson and James O'Brien.
Yeah, pretty much James O'Brien's got this in the bag. He just got to run smooth, make sure he hits his line. I don't think he's pushing very hard. He's just kind of riding there right behind his teammate of Paul D. Johnson. I think they're going to finish real good here in the season, but I think pretty much we can almost say that James O'Brien's going to be our season champion.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, that's a lot for him to take in. And, so far, even though he might know that in the back of his head, he's still giving it all he has to get around his teammate. And also, finish ahead of his teammate for the final time this season, season number 8. Oh man, and looking at the race so far, we have 8 laps to go. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 8 laps remaining, less than 10 laps to go. It is go time. It has been go time. And with only now 7 laps left in tonight's race, it's only a matter of time before the top 2 drivers start battling it out. Dale Robertson and Daniel Wilborn, including Paul D. Johnson versus James O'Brien. Yes, Wilborn gets a slingshot off the exit of turn 2, but backs off before turn 3. Seems like Daniel Wilborn has had a lot of chances to get around Robertson, but seems just been backing it down. So he has some plan in the works. Oh man, the 2 leaders, Dale Robertson and Daniel Wilborn, have the 3rd and 4th place drivers in sight, Paul D. Johnson and James O'Brien. Five laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, 5 laps to go. That means the next flag ends the race. So everybody now is struggling, is racing hard to try and be in the best spot they can possibly be in. So if a caution would come out, the race would end under caution and they will be satisfied with their finish. But here behind in the 3rd and 4th place spots, James O'Brien and Paul D. Johnson, 0.3 of a second apart. In turn, the same gap exists between the 1st and 2nd place drivers, Wilborn and Robertson. Actually, Wilborn is struggling with his machine. He goes sideways off the exit of turn 2. That could have been ugly. He could have overcorrected it. But a nice save by Wilborn. But that puts a big smile on the face of Robertson. The gap does increase. Oh, man. Yep, Wilborn is having some serious difficulty with the machine's handling at this point. 3 laps to go, 3 laps to go, and Wilborn still doing some serious sideways action, dirt tracking if you will, and that does keep increasing the lead of Robertson. Actually, Robertson is actually less than a second behind the 2 rivalries, the 2 biggest battles for the championship tonight, James O'Brien and Paul D. Johnson. Is coming up on both drivers at a very fast rate off the exit of turn 2. He's setting up the 9 of James O'Brien for the pass. Robertson goes to the inside of James O'Brien. This might just work with the 14 of Johnson to increase that gap. Oh, Robertson gets a bad exit off the exit of turn 4 and lets them go. Uh-oh, Daniel Wilborn sees a free launch program, gets around the 3 of Robertson, trying to get around him at least, side by side in turn 1. This is the white flag. Oh, Wilborn goes sideways, all speed momentum lost, and Robertson takes back the race lead and maintains the race lead on the backstretch. They're both behind the 3rd and 4th place drivers. Wilborn off the exit of turn 4 does not seem to have enough to make it work. Oh man, he spins out, he smacks the wall. No! Robertson is able to win this thing. Wilborn comes out 2nd, but going back to Paul Johnson and James O'Brien, they are still nose to tail as we speak. James O'Brien taps the apron off the exit of turn number 2 and loses time, speed, and momentum against 14 of Paul D. Johnson. The gap does increase, entering turn 3. Turns 3 and 4 for the final time between O'Brien. He goes sideways as he tries to go against his teammate. He smacks the wall as well, just like Wilborn did. He spins out in the grass. Paul Johnson comes out in 3rd place. James O'Brien, 4th place. That is the top 4 drivers tonight. Kyle Souza in the 5th place spot, rounded up the top 5. Ladies and gentlemen, what a way to end the season. Top 3 interviews coming up. Jerry Robertson, Daniel Wilborn, Paul D. Johnson, including James O'Brien, so top 4 drivers, so please stay tuned. And a big smoke show by Dale Robertson. Well, ladies and gentlemen, who joined up in the booth by the top 4 drivers, Dale Robertson, Daniel Wilborn, Paul D. Johnson, including James O'Brien. Gonna start with tonight's race winner having his first win here in the Chase Series. What a heck of a way to end the season. You come up there, Dale?
Yeah, I got you.
How you doing tonight?
Pretty good. What about you?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Well, Dale, man, you were able to bring that Budweiser Camaro to victory lane tonight. How's your experience for the final race of the season?
It was pretty good today. I think I had a pretty good car. I was only going 50% though, you know. Just taking it easy for my last race. Pretty good season, pretty good round of PRL. It's been fun.
Oh man, you say you were taking it easy, but you still led a lot of laps. Most likely, you led the most laps tonight, because at one point there when we checked, you did lead 47 laps, while Wilborn led, I believe, 56 laps. But that was about 30 laps ago. So yes, you led the most laps tonight. And what was going on through your mind when you noticed that Wilborn was all over you, pretty much more than half the last half of the race?
Yeah, I had to be careful. I didn't want to get too loose because then, you know, we both could have wrecked. But, yeah, it was a close race.
Oh, indeed. And starting tonight's race there, Dale, you were 5th place in points, only 1 point behind John LaBeouf. And with your performance tonight, and also Dustin Hall missing tonight's race, and you yourself finishing ahead of John LaBeouf, you most likely have been able to move up 2 spots into the 3rd place spot. We're going to find out here once the points are updated. But congrats on the success all season long, man. You've come a very long way. You used to be a rear pack runner, but you've become a strictly front pack runner, front runner. That's very commendable, man. It does not go unnoticed. And how's been your season, man?
It's pretty good. I would have, you know, after Daytona when I won that, I would have liked to have won the whole season, but it didn't end up kind of like I wanted to. But if it had gone like it should have gone, I wouldn't have been even close to the championship. Nobody would have. It would have been Daniel. By far, it wouldn't have even been close. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Stuff had to go like it did. But yeah, it's, you know, it's not me that I don't want to thank myself for anything. I've just been, you know, driving other stuff. I've got to thank everybody else. It's, you know, Chris from Overclock, everybody else from Overclock, Simtech, you know, everybody the whole season's been helping me out. Yeah, I just got to thank everybody else.
Oh, most definitely, brother. Well, congrats on your success here tonight and all season long. You know, despite the ups and downs, you know, more ups than downs, that was amazing. We look forward to seeing you again next season, season number 9. And then final words for Lego, man.
I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you guys for doing a good job broadcasting for the past couple seasons. I want to thank the PRL for the good seasons I've had. Yeah, everybody else. I want to thank everybody else.
Well, buddy, congrats on your success here tonight. What a heck of a way to end the season. Go celebrate, you earned it, and see you again on April 8th.
All right, thank you.
That was tonight's race winner, Simtech Racing driver Dale Robertson. But next in line is Daniel Wilborn. Got a copy there, Danny?
Yeah, I got a copy.
How doing tonight?
Doing good.
Well, brother, we've missed you, man. It's been way too long. You've only raced, you know, 4 of the 12 races. But in every single race you raced this season, you always brought your A++ game. That never went unnoticed. We've always named you as the fastest driver in the long run. How's your experience back tonight?
Oh yeah, I had a really good car. It was a good experience here. Me and Dale were even throughout that whole run. I was just a little bit too loose.
Oh man, absolutely. Yeah, we noticed there towards the very end when you were trying to make moves against Robertson, you got loose a lot and actually smacked the wall on the checkered flag on the final lap on the exit of turn number 4. But you seemed like you were able to counter it quite well despite that. And also throughout the whole entire race, it seemed like when you were riding behind Robertson, you were just riding in his rear view like that, you had a lot of opportunities to get around him. You got some good runs against him off turn 2 and turn 4 at times, but each time you got close to him, you decided to just let off the gas and let him maintain it. What was your game plan?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to get to his outside because I didn't want to get pinched down on the inside with me being that loose and slide up into him and hit him. I just wanted to try to race him clean. I was trying to get to his outside.
Oh, 10.
Yeah, that's why I was running high side 1 and 2 to see if I could get to the outside of him.
Oh, copy that, brother. That does make a lot of sense. Yep, the inside was not the place to be for sure, especially when making passes. And Wilborn talked about how we've missed you a lot all season long. Should we expect to see you back again next season?
Probably not because of my work schedule.
Oh, copy that, man. Well, man, we look forward to, you know, still hearing from you here in the near future. But any final words for Lego?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Chris for the setup and thank Alan for setting up the rooms and doing practice and doing a lot of practice laps with Dale.
And congrats on your success here tonight, all season long in your races. And also just pretty much your whole PRL career. We look forward to hearing from you in the near future, buddy. Go celebrate.
Alright, thank you.
And that was Daniel Wilborn finishing 2nd place. But next in line is the 14 of Paul D. Johnson, road trip racing driver. Gotta go up there, Paul.
Hey guys, I'm here.
How you doing tonight, man?
That's it's pretty good. Great finish to a season that started out kind of rough, so.
Oh man, indeed. And tonight you were forced to do something you most likely did not want to do. That was you going against your teammates. Starting tonight's race, you were only 9 points behind him, James O'Brien himself. and all race long, man, you were able to exercise a lot of patience, a lot of strategy, and that paid off. But what was going on through your mind all race long? Because I can imagine that it was not an easy time for you.
No, it was pretty tough. That was a pretty exhausting race, holding on to it. Like everyone else was saying, the cars were really loose. We had a great set that the team worked on again, and James and I ended up being really close. I tried really hard to get the pole. This is the first time I've ever really put in a lot of hot laps to try to get the pole, because I knew I needed all the bonus points I could. Unfortunately, I couldn't quite get that, but and then in that first run, I thought I had something for Dale and maybe even Daniel. It looked like they were coming back, and then you know, it was like a maybe 3 to 6 lap window. I started reeling them back in, and then after that, they just check out and they were gone. So that second, knowing that second run coming out of the caution, I tried running. I mean, that was exhausting. I tried running right on Daniel, see if for those few laps that I could keep up, see if I could, you know, get him to make a mistake or something like that. But Daniel's just too composed of a driver. I don't think, you know, he probably didn't. He probably turned his mirror off, so he couldn't even see me. But and then once they, I made a little mistake. James got past me, and then they kind of hit that 7, 8 lap window and checked out again. So then yeah, myself and James just had to battle it the whole race, and you know, I wanted it. We were definitely not giving it to each other. We were trying really hard not to wreck each other, but I really wanted that, you know, to beat him there. So I don't think it was enough to get me past him. I think even with I would have had to basically win every bonus point tonight. So you know, we were battling at the end there. Definitely he was trying to get me. That's why he ended up spinning coming off the end. He was trying to get that last run, see if he could get around me. So really cool, fun race to be, you know, that close to a teammate and really finish the season 1-2. That's pretty awesome.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, you know, it was a heck of an eventful race, Paul, and also a very great and well fought battle. Very clean. You know, you so much on the line against your teammate, but you still raced him clean, showed a lot of respect. And we just got word too, Paul, that you finished second place in points, and your team, Road Trip Racing, has won the team championship standings this season, season number 8. How are you feeling, man?
That's awesome. I mean, you know, we struggled a little bit, like I said at the beginning. Had a couple races where a couple of our drivers, me included, got disqualified from the incident limit, and to battle back, I mean, that was you know, that was tough, and we did, and huge kudos to the whole team for winning and sticking with it and being here every week in, week out. You know, going through, you know, dealing with ups and downs and just keep pushing, and you know, it paid off. We ended up 1 and 2 in the standings for individual. I believe Brandon's even up here. I know he was still in 6th. I don't know if he stayed there, but he was in the chase till the end, and then Road Trip to win the whole thing. It's been an awesome season. It's been a lot of fun, especially towards the end here. Just really got consistent, and I really think that racing with these guys made me a better driver. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh, most definitely. And Paul, man, you know, the seasons before last, we always noticed you spent most of your time on your roof more than you did on your 4 wheels. But this season, that changed, man. You know, everything turned around for the better. So basically, what do you plan on improving on, or basically what do you plan on continuing to improve your chances like you've done this season for next season?
I think just practicing and putting into practice laps, especially next season's going to be awesome, because next season we're actually mirroring the iRacing schedule, and that's where I like to practice. I like to actually get into these races and race. So I've been, you know, I'm really looking forward to that. And yeah, I think, you know, I think actually what happened for me personally was I started to get a lot better, and it took a while for my skill to catch up. And it took a little while to get calmed back down and quit, you know, be a little more careful driver and wait a little bit longer and show a little bit more patience. And I think it's really paid off. So I think it really showed towards the end of the season there.
Oh, most definitely, man. Well, like we always say, it's been amazing watching you grow with every single season, getting nothing but better. You've been heading the right direction. And well, by what we've seen, James has someone to keep an eye on next week, as he'll be trying his best to defend that title and also maintain that trophy he'll be receiving. Well, any finals before you go celebrate, man?
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the team. They've been great all season. That's again Brandon Walter and David Dreckman and James O'Brien. We've also had a lot of help from Area 51's been out there at the Proving Grounds this week, working really hard on the set, and also Area 51 chassis design. I'm sorry, the setup genius out at the Proving Grounds, and then we've been getting a lot of help from Area 51 Motorsports, or Area 51 Chassis Design. I can't even remember all these things I've got to thank. So a big thank you to them for helping, especially here in the season, and helping us really be very successful. So a huge thank you to all of them, and thank you to you guys for the broadcast, and a huge thanks to the PRL for putting on this league. So it's gotten a lot of fun.
Well, brother, congrats on your success all season long. We look forward to seeing you again back next season as you actually wear that new crown and take the championship away from James O'Brien. Well, go celebrate, buddy. You earned it.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
And that was Paul D. Johnson finishing second place in the team in the standings, with Dale Robertson finishing third. But now moving on to the fourth place finisher tonight, but most importantly, moving on to season number 8 champion, James O'Brien. You come up there, buddy?
Yes, I do.
How you doing tonight, man?
Pretty damn good. Feeling a lot better than I did this whole week. I had the flu this week, so I'm glad I was able to race.
Oh man, sorry to hear about that, but yeah, we are glad to have you with us, to be able to have you with us tonight. The most important race of the season for you in this case, as you were able to secure yourself and get the trophy and the championship, season number 8. And James, man, what was going on through your mind all race long tonight, knowing that you were going against one of your teammates, man? Because I know it was difficult to race hard, because that a single mistake could wipe both of you out.
Well, we went in with a conservative setup. We tried something out in practice, and we decided not to use it. It had a lot of speed, but we decided to play it safe and use something more conservative, and just because we knew that if we just finished well and clean, we would bring it home 1 and 2. It was mathematically impossible almost for anybody else to catch back up. And near the end, when Paul and I were pretty much bumper to bumper, I was actually having a lot of fun playing around because we were both sliding around. The cars were terrible in the long run because the tires were gone, and but that was a lot more fun. And on the last lap, I just gave her hell coming out of the turn, trying to pass him, and spun out. But it was just it was just whatever. It was locked down at that point. It was definitely a lot of fun. I wish every race could be like that.
Almost definitely, man. And yes, it was a heck of a show on your part, going against Paul Johnson. Gave it all you had. Gave it all you had there on the last lap. And man, you guys executed some well done strategies all season long, all race long tonight. And you yourself was able to bring home this championship. And James, for all those viewers out there, for all those upcoming champions in the near future, what would be your advice for them? Basically, what's been made you successful?
Patience and just a lot of practice. I always tell newcomers to iRacing too, just seat time. You won't get better unless you just practice, because the learning curve on here is ginormous. It's sorry. It just takes a lot of time and effort. I mean, you could have fun with it, but if you want to compete on a higher level, I'm not saying that I am, but just a lot of practice, and don't fall on deaf ears. Always listen to your friends on here if anybody's trying to give you advice, because it's pretty realistic. If they know a trick, they'll let you know usually, and they're just trying to help you out.
Oh, absolutely, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. patience, practice, and get advice from the right people. You heard it right here from the new champion, Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series Season 8 champion, James O'Brien. And James, man, from what you've seen this season racing with all these drivers, you know, what do you plan on carrying on to next season to defend your throne?
I'm gonna try to have the same kind of mindset, and it's a lot longer of a season. We're having a lot of new season implementations. I suggested that we do mimic the real world season. That way we can all get free practice whenever we want, all week long at whatever track we're running at. And they implemented that, and I was pretty happy. I think that's going to help everybody out a lot that way. And you can also do the races too. That way you can feel the setup out on a longer run with packs of cars and everything. But I'm going to just keep trying to do what I do. But I feel like I'm going to miss a few races next season just because it's 21 weeks, I think. It's pretty long, and I go on vacation a lot. But I should be able to make at least all but 2, I think, and that's, you only get 2 drop weeks. So hopefully we get a lot of fun next season just like this and defend the title. I want to go for a 4th championship with PRL.
Oh, absolutely, man. 4th championship incoming next season, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure to be there to see him in as he works. Well, congratulations on success, man, all season long. It's been amazing watching you learn and grow season after season, and keep up the great work. It does not go unnoticed. Look forward to seeing you get your 4th championship with PRL next season for season number 9. Oh no, we know you want to go celebrate, so any final words before we let you go?
Yeah, I want my entire team. We couldn't have done at least the team championship without them, and if it wasn't for the setup genius and Area 51 chassis hopping on halfway through the season, we wouldn't have, I don't think I could have made the setups personally myself. I made okay setups by myself, but the info that David brings to the table is outstanding. He is definitely really knows his stuff, and I want to thank Chris Roberts for helping him come over to this team, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had him. And I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. I'm going to miss you guys. I heard we're not signing back on with you guys, and it's been great. I think it's been 4 or 5 seasons I've done with you guys, and I'll miss hearing you guys broadcast because it's always fun listening to you guys do your thing. And I want to thank John for the amazing trophy. I can't believe I'm getting something like that on here. It's outstanding. I'm going to cherish it a lot. Hopefully some of my teammates can come down and see it down in sunny South Florida where I'm at, where there's no snow and it's 80 degrees right now. So yeah, I'm gonna go have a beer and kick back and talk with my teammates and celebrate.
Almost definitely, man. Well, congratulations on success, brother, and thank you very much for the kind words. It's been a heck of a ride with the PRL. Yeah, we'll be live with the Online Sim Racing Network, so you're gonna be able to catch us on there. But buddy, you earned it. So go celebrate, and see you again next season.
See you, Sean. Have a good night.
That was the first, that was James O'Brien for the new champion here of season number 8, the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. That wraps up interviews. James O'Brien, Paul D. Johnson, Daniel Wilborn, and Dale Robertson. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the action tonight. The ironic win, lose, or blow 202.5 Chase Race 404 Championship Race, part of the 3D Concepts and Creations Chase for the Cup with the Precision Racing League American iRacing Sunday Series. Well, Dave, any final thoughts?
It's been a great season, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of the action throughout the whole entire season. I'd also like to thank the Precision Racing League for having the Dre broadcasting aboard the action train. As you heard it right there, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be broadcasting live on the Online Sim Racing Network next season with Joe White. So be sure to check us out there. That's Online Sim Racing Network on YouTube. And just a few final words here, final notes. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, for those interested in being a part of the action, you have to race your way in, and the race your way in races will be held next week, in the next 2 weeks, basically. Next week, next Sunday, and the Sunday after that. So that's going to be March 18th at Auto Club and March 25th at Phoenix International Raceway. So be sure to be there, and all rooms go up at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 6 p.m. EST, and there will be 4-hour sessions. So be sure to be there. And the next season starts. Season number 9 begins on April 8th, with the first race being held at Texas Motor Speedway. I am Sean Zulu, and David Everly behind the cameras. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for being a part of the action. And we are signing out for the Dre Broadcasting Network for the final time with the PRL. So have a good night. Thanks for watching. See you again next Sunday.